Arcade1Up never made it. SNK never licensed it. But that late 80s action movie inspired arcade game that I've dreamed of, Ikari Warriors, with those classic 360-degree rotary controls, is right here. And yes, it actually works. Mid to late 80s action films like Rambo, Delta Force, and Predator sparked a wave of run and gun shooters. Contra and Metal Slug became household names, but one top down run and gun where you moved one way and aimed another, SNK's Ikari Warriors was the poster child, thanks to those signature 360-degree rotary controls and co op gameplay. Despite being one of the top 5 highest grossing arcades of 1986 and 1987, the likelihood of a deluxe 3/4 scale reissue is honestly slim to none, thanks to those unique controls. But the community did what the big guys wouldn't. This Project Arcade only exists because of the entrepreneurial fans and indie companies. It features fully licensed SNK Super Sticks from Thundersix Studios and Glenn's Retro Show, a custom 19-inch BOE screen and matching bezel from Buy Stuff Arcades, a custom control deck and artwork from G.I. Joe Gaming, and side art plus the marquee from a stellar independent eBay vendor. The foundation of this build is the Arcade1Up Street Fighter II Dynamo HS5 cabinet. It's the perfect cabinet style to match the original look of the Ikari Warriors. We've ditched the stock control deck and screen for a vertical shooter build, and that meant installing and rewiring controls that have real rotary aiming and inserting a new display with vertical orientation. Here's what's in the build, and of course, links to these products and companies are in the description below. The controls, 2 Super Sticks, fully licensed from SNK for true 360-degree rotation. The display, a 19-inch vertical LCD with bezel kit from Buy Stuff Arcades. The deck is a G.I. Joe custom deck pre-cut for Ikari Warriors layout, plus those custom artwork. And to finish things out, we have the side art and marquee, which I acquired from eBay. The magic, and frankly, the only reason this build is possible, is the GRS Super Sticks. They're a modern SNK licensed rotary joystick with 8-way movement plus independent rotation. Rotation is routed to its own inputs, so turning left and right is totally separate from moving. That's what makes Ikari, well, feel like Ikari. And frankly, something that was not possible outside of the original arcade since its release. The Super Sticks connect via USB, so I've added a USB hub to connect both sticks to the stock PCB. The G.I. Joe custom HS5 deck is a direct replacement for the stock and drops right in. The Buy Stuff Arcade screen mounts vertically using the stock bracketry and fits the bezel like a glove. The new Buy Stuff display connects via LVDS just like the stock screen. However, you can pick up an optional LVDS to HDMI converter if you want to connect this up to a Raspberry Pi or a mini PC. For the brains of the cabinet, I chose to stick with the stock A1Up PCB and use a known hack to sideload RetroArch and ROMs like Ikari Warriors, Ikari 2, Heavy Barrel, and other rotary controlled games. Setup of RetroArch is pretty straightforward. In the display settings, you're going to set the orientation to vertical. You map the left and right Super Stick rotary signals to the correct controls, which, by the way, the Super Sticks do include a handy configuration application, so you can set the rotary signals to specific keyboard keys or X or D input buttons depending on your preference. I've previously done videos on sideloading RetroArch on the HS5 and on installing and setting up the Super Sticks. Links to those videos are also down in the description. Some things to keep in mind if you plan this build. I opted to keep the stock A1Up control rockers connected. This ensures I can control the power and volume without any special feature or added controls. You will also need to map some of the buttons on the Super Sticks to operate as the coin in and player start buttons. For the coin in, I mapped one of the left-hand control buttons, and I used the stock A1Up player start buttons connected to some of the inputs on the Super Sticks. For bringing up RetroArch menu and to exit the game, I mapped a button combination of the coin in and player start. Now, there is a known issue with the Android version of RetroArch that causes the application to lock up the controller used to launch the game. So while I can use the Super Sticks to navigate the RetroArch menus, to do the final launch, I keep a small keyboard connected that I use to press the final enter so that both the player 1 and player 2 controls stay active as they should. For me, it's a minor annoyance, but I know for some of you, you may just want to go with a Pi or Mini PC build to avoid this hassle entirely. Now let's talk about how this actually plays, because that is what matters most. And let me tell you, as someone who loved this style of arcades and someone who used to own an original heavy barrel, it plays exactly as you remember. The GRS Super Sticks capture that classic rhythm: move with your feet, aim with your hands. The Super Sticks track cleanly through 360 degrees, so snapping between diagonals feels intentional, not mushy. Grenade arcs are predictable, enemy rushes are readable, and the rotary click through gives you that tactile and audible feedback you just don't get on twin stick substitutes. The Ikari Warriors games and heavy barrel play great. The faster skull still keeps rotation under control. The Super Sticks transform these games from pretty good using a D-pad to, oh man, that's how this game was meant to feel. The Buy Stuff Arcade's bezel ties the vertical look together, and the eBay side art and marquee sell the fantasy from across the room. Up close, the G.I. Joe deck art blends perfectly with the hardware footprint, no awkward gaps, no bolt-on vibes, and it even features that original Trade West logo. Now let's talk costs. What will this project run you? The Super Sticks from Thunder 6 Studios are premium, but well worth it for licensed accuracy. They'll run you $79.99 each, but it should be noted that Glenn's Retro Show runs sales on these frequently. In fact, at the time of the filming of this video, you can pick them up for 40% off with code Ikari40. The Buy Stuff Arcade's 19-inch vertical kit will run you around $225. The G.I. Joe custom deck is $50 with an additional fee for custom artwork. For the side art and marquee, I paid around $80. I went with a Mylar marquee sandwiched between two pieces of plexi, so expect to pay more if you want to go with a reverse printed marquee from those made by Joe Sabos and others. Finally, the base of this project is the Arcade1Up Street Fighter II Dynamo HS5, which retails for $499, though you can often find open box versions on eBay for substantially less if you don't already own one. So let's talk pros and cons. Here are my pros. The authentic 360-degree rotaries feel great, and let's not forget they're fully licensed. The vertical screen plus the bezel really give the correct arcade presentation, and the clean deck layout and art integrates just like the OEM. Community-driven parts are included in this build that really fit it perfectly and feel like you're giving back to the community as a whole. Let's talk cons. Rotary wiring and mapping is going to take some patience. Sideloading RetroArch isn't for everyone, and of course, it costs more than a stock cab, but that's the price of doing things right and getting that original feel that you want. For me, this project is a love letter to SNK's original design and to the 80s action DNA that fueled it. Without independent fans and small companies stepping up, this cabinet doesn't exist, and now it does. If you've ever wanted Ikari Warriors the way it was meant to be played and don't want the hassle of restoring and maintaining the original arcade, this is it. The super sticks make the difference. The vertical kit sells the illusion, and the whole thing turns a good A1Up shell into the right machine. Now, if you thought this project cabinet was good, you will love this video about the Build Choice Nintendo style arcade cabinet from G.I. Joe Gaming. Now, I'd love to know what your dream arcade cabinet is, so leave me a comment below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please smash the like button. It really does help the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications for more videos like these. And until next time, have fun.